VIGILANT Broadcasting, the station of opportunity, presents The Chronicles of Doing Too Much with your host, Angel Riley.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Chronicles of Doing Too Much. I am your host, the one and only Angel L. Riley, and I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. Well, I really need to change those words. I'm not excited. I'm starting to get a little bit sad. We're going to go on a summer sabbatical while we're making some adjustments with the power move we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, and so Wednesday night will be our last episode for the next couple of months, and then we'll be coming back. So right now at the beginning, make sure that you follow me on Facebook, Angel Riley, and because we are going to still have some episodes of the Chronicles coming out through that venue and others, and I want to stay connected and start the conversation as well as keep you guys abreast of what's happening during this power move. So we talked about last week the emotions that come along when you're making a power move and you stepping outside of that comfort zone and you're just going forward. And I talked about how I was upset and had a breakdown and was angry but happy at the same time because of the peace that's over me in this move. Well, today we're going to talk about, that action plan. Plan to fail, fail to plan to fail, all right? I do plan to fail because I'm an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs, if you're not failing, then you're not progressing. So I do plan to fail as an entrepreneur in certain things to help me to strengthen my product and my brand, but not fail completely where, the business is gone under or anything like that. But failing in some ideas, I'm able to strengthen and improve some of the services and products that I offer. But it is fail to plan to fail. So when you're making that power move, you definitely want to have an action plan. So I'm sharing with you guys what I'm doing personally. So if you find yourself in this situation or you're ready to go into that situation, whether you're planned it out or a little bit like me where the timeline got sped up a little, you kind of have a thing to do to kind of go forward. So I have this journal that I got out of a local craft store, and I love positive affirmations, and it says boss lady on it because I'm a boss lady. I'm a boss, all right? I do things big. And I love this journal because it's actually a goals journal. I'm not huge into the planning community. I love how the planners can make things cute and use different colors and block things out, and that's fine and dandy, but that takes too much time and work and concentration for me. But I like the goals journal because it lays everything out for me, and I'm able to just write in it exactly what it is that I want to accomplish, how I'm going to accomplish it, and have some success measures, but as well as track what some of my challenges are as I'm going to attain the goal. So I pulled out my Boss Lady journal, went to a section because it's a pretty thick journal, and I have not laid out enough goals to complete the book yet, so I can continue to use it. And it's also a good way to track your progress. When you're sitting down and having a moment of reflection, you can go through your goals journal and kind of figure out, where were you, what's something that you didn't accomplish that maybe you can go back to and make some adjustments to and so forth. But the first thing I did is I said, okay, I'm still with corporate America. I'm still with that 9 to 5 until the end of May. So I'm going to do my due diligence. And when I went through this in 2008 during the financial crisis, and my job was eliminated based on the collapse of the financial markets, what are some things that I did not do then that I'm going to do now, that things I should have done then that I will do now? So in the goals journal, I wrote that out. And one of them is, okay, I'm going to consider going back to corporate America. But at the end of the day, the business, the brand under Angel L. Riley and the Chronicles is the main focus. But as we're building and going there and looking at the various sources and the diverse streams of income that's coming in, you're still going to make sure that you explore all of your options. So one of my first goals and what I'm working towards completing and achieving for my success is, what does that look like for going back to corporate America? What does that look like for me? So this is a career change for me. How do I continue to go along that path of the career change outside of the corporation that I've been with for a substantial amount of time? How do I do that? What are some of the services that are being provided from the corporation, and what are some of the resources that I have? So I looked at doing pretty much a SWOT analysis. We talked about that a couple of months ago, about identifying your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So I did a SWOT analysis on my personal. What are my strengths? What are some of my weaknesses? I'm really into marketing communications, but every now and then with some of the new digital platforms, I'm not as well versed in. So that's a weakness of mine. What are some opportunities? The opportunity to freelance, the opportunity to volunteer my services, the opportunity to continue to promote my brand and Angel L. Riley LLC, using those platforms, the various digital marketing platforms that I'm not that familiar with or that well versed in. You're starting to learn those platforms and really expand the business growth and marketing the services offered. And then what are some threats? Who else in my community is doing that? What does the industry look like for, for the business that I'm in? And so forth. So I laid it out. I sat down, I took a couple of hours, and I just laid out what I felt were my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And that actually was a page in my goals journal, and that helped me to keep it focused. That I don't have a lot of different pages. Everything is in one place for me to look at and really evaluate quickly. So once I've identified all of that, one of my strengths is now I'm not working 11 to 14-hour days at a 9 to 5 and having limited amount of time to focus on my businesses. Now it's, okay, well, if I put 7 hours towards one business and 7 hours towards the other business, wow, that equals the 14 hours that I was working at the 9 to 5 that can now go completely into these businesses with building them and taking them to the next level. So I looked at that as a strength. It's time. Time is a strength of mine. I now have the time. I now have the energy. I now have the brain capacity. I'm not worn out, But that is something that I definitely looked at. And what I paid a lot of attention to were the threats, because the threats were external. The threats are things that I'm not able to control no matter what. They are external factors. So I struggled, to be honest, with identifying what those threats were, but I did come up with some threats into what does that look like for me? So the first thing I said is, okay, I'm looking at this. I'm taking advantage of things that I didn't take advantage of in 2008 when I was in this situation, and that is using a career coach. All right, so doing the career coach. And let me tell you guys, I pulled everything up with the career coach, completed the assessments. I don't like this assessment that they did on me. And I don't like it because it might be accurate, all right? But you had to answer a bunch of questions. I think it was like over 300 questions that you had to answer. One was about external, what did I think most people thought, and then the other were how did I think. So it was spot on. It was definitely spot on, but I didn't like how it called me out on how I can get a little frustrated with people who do things that don't make sense. And I did not like that this test can identify that based on how I answered these series of questions, which I just thought was fascinating. But that was also a way of doing a SWOT analysis for me. So now I have this career coach. I'm going through I did the SWOT analysis. I'm submitting my resume so I can do a resume review with them as well. I actually updated my resume. I used Canva. I love Canva. And I have a pretty snazzy resume at this time, and doing all of that. And then optimizing my social media, preferably LinkedIn. And I'm engaging more, reading articles. I'm meeting new friends. I'm getting recommendations. All of that were in my goals journal. All of what did I not do in 2008. And I did optimize LinkedIn in 2008, but it wasn't as powerful of a tool as it is now. But LinkedIn is not only powerful for you to work your 9 to 5, LinkedIn is also powerful for your business. So I actually added for the first time, and all these years that I've had my business, in the 3 years that I've had my business, for the first time I've added my business to LinkedIn. And it looks good. I'm excited. And it was a sense of accomplishment for me because as I summarize what some of my successes have been with the business, including this radio show, it was just amazing to see how much I have done in 3 years. And wow, and that's working part-time on the business. So it was pretty impressive, and to build the portfolio on LinkedIn and to really change the headline to include entrepreneur is one of my strengths in my headline. It's pretty amazing. And the number of recruiters who are starting to look at my profile is just kind of amazing. It's really amazing. And looking at that just by doing a simple thing of adding my business, adding the successes. And then it was also a good way because I already did my SWOT analysis. So I knew what my strengths are. I'm a teacher. I love to teach. In my direct sales business, they have all types of snazzy training videos, whether I'm facilitating or I've written a script and had it produced and animated training series and all these different types of graphics. I love Canva. I look like I'm a professional graphic designer. Take all of that type of stuff. And all of it falls under my LLC. And it's just amazing to see that and to look at that strength and say, I'm a trainer, and then I can showcase this publicly for the first time. Why wasn't I doing this before? What was with that? So having that goals journal and really writing it out, and I'm focusing on one thing, and that is building my visibility, building my presence as an executive, building my presence as an executive, building my presence as what value would I bring to any corporation or company, regardless if it's not an incorporated entity. What value do I bring to an employer just by looking at my social media and optimizing it? I also had in that scrubbing any of my personal social media accounts. Now, I'm a woman of respect and worth, and I am a Christian, and I never deny and will never deny that I'm a Christian, and I often talk to people and others about my Christianity because that's a part of my life. It's a dominant part of my life. And as you guys have over these months that we've been on this radio show, you hear me thanking God and talking about that spiritual journey all the time. But looking at that and saying, is there anything on any of my personal social media accounts, because I'm public, I have public profiles everywhere, that will cause concern to an employer? I use a lot of scheduling services for my businesses, especially my direct sales business. I use a scheduling service to post. Like right now, while I'm broadcasting live with this radio show, I actually have a series of posts going into my direct sales page, social media pages right now. Isn't that amazing how you can do two things at one time? I love schedulers, But looking at that and seeing how much content that I have posting during a work day, and being able to, and preparing myself that if an employer was to look and I potentially had an interview, how do I talk about that? I have a scheduling system, a scheduler. I use a program that I'm able to schedule posts, and I sit down on a Sunday And I schedule my post out for a whole week. And sometimes if I really have like a lot of time, or I'm taking a CEO Saturday or a CEO Sunday and I'm taking a whole day and working my businesses, I'll schedule posts for up to like 3 months is what the scheduling service that I use allow you to schedule posts. And I'll schedule, posts where I have consistent theme days. I'll schedule posts for the entire 3 months. So looking at that content and saying, how can I explain this? Also looking at some of my posts. Like I had some posts where I was working really, really long hours. And I wasn't complaining, but I was basically just letting out some of my frustration on Facebook, like another long day, this sister's tired, and so forth. Well, I had to put myself in the employer's shoes. If I found this woman here, and I know this job requires 30 to 50% traveling and long hours, am I going to hire someone that's had, a series of posts about how tired she is for working long hours? So I pulled all of those posts. I deleted them all out. So just scrubbing. All of this is all laid out in my goals, all in the action plans. So my goal, the number one goal was become employable. Ensure I am employable. And under the action plan, it came up with optimizing my online presence, number one. So what actions do I need to take to optimize my online presence? Number two, take advantage of resources that are provided to me complimentary. The career coach is provided to me complimentary for 3 months. So I'm taking advantage of this career coach, engaging in all the activities, attending the webinars, completing all of the surveys that they're giving, scheduling the one-on-one calls with the career coach, attending the virtual events that they are hosting for their clients, and so forth. But just engaging. That's all part of the action plan. 3, building up my portfolio. I run a marketing business. So let's build up that portfolio. Let's show what am I doing? What have I done? What are successes? What are the successes in terms of what have I accomplished? What are the percentage? When I'm talking about my direct sales company, how large of a team do I have? What's the percentage of active status? Where do we rank percentage-wise in the company? With my team, we're in the top 25% of the company. That's huge. That's an accomplishment. That's something to highlight, there. So putting that, optimizing your online presence, and then looking at, various trainings. And that's the last thing that I've been doing is training. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of my favorite resources. I am a LinkedIn Premium, which is it has a small monthly fee, but they had a special where the first month was free. So what type of trainings? There's actually trainings that you can do that help you to get your various certifications, whether you're doing a project management certification, a digital marketing certification, and so forth. And just looking at what your goals are, there are various courses in LinkedIn under their premium where it just allows you to take as many courses as you can online, in the comfort of your home or in the car or wherever you may be. But sitting down and concentrating. And it also helps with the optimization of your online presence because you're able to add all of these courses that you're taking on LinkedIn. So I like podcasting. I like blogging. I actually took courses through the LinkedIn module to get me started. And then using that, I was able to find some supplemental courses at the local community college. So educating myself, strengthening myself. So it may sound like a lot of busy work, but it's not busy work. It is stuff that's getting me prepared. This is setting the goal of becoming employable. And a huge part of becoming employable or maintaining your employability is learning, strengthening, and developing your skills. So that's a big thing. One of the other things that I've done and added under this particular goal is about networking. Networking is key. It's about who you know. All right. I got plenty of jobs in my 20-year career based on a recommendation from someone or my name being mentioned in the room that I had no idea. We talk a lot about having a sponsor, versus a mentor. A sponsor is someone who is familiar with your work, familiar with what you do, and your name can be mentioned or you can come up based on something you did and you not even know it. So having those networks. So looking at different ways to volunteer, that's all networking. Also, volunteering is a way to strengthen your skill set. It's a way to make sure you don't forget or lose certain parts of your skill set. So when you're volunteering, looking at volunteer opportunities that align with what you do professionally. So going to networking events, reaching out to people in your network and scheduling lunch or coffee or so forth. But just getting out there and networking and being around people. And it's not busy work. It is skill-strengthening work. So that's the first goal. The second goal is to complete the foundation of my I have some fundamental things I want to complete for my direct sales business. And that's the secondary, and then the third is to continue to expand Angel L. Riley, LLC, which you guys are going to be following me, Angel L. Riley, online, and you guys will see all the expansion opportunities there and various ways to stay connected with me and my services, to be honest. But that's how you do it. You have to write down a goal. You have to have an action step. It is so easy to just sit back and say, all right, I want to chill, I want to relax, I'm going to just kick my feet up for a while and do nothing. Or you can sit there and have all these ideas in your head and just start to go for it. And then you're pulling yourself in so many directions. But the best way to do it is to take that moment where you have that strategic pause that we talked about previously, get your space right. Let me tell y'all, it feels so good to have my space that is reflective of me when I'm in my best state, when I am the most creative. I don't have clutter. It's clean. It smells fresh. Like right now, I have this delicious limoncello candle burning. It is so relaxing in here right now that it is difficult to keep my eyes open to record this show. But it is just one of those things where your space has to be perfect. For me, my space has to be perfect. And when I'm in a certain space, I'm happy and I am creative and I get things going. So when you're looking at writing out that plan, sometimes that plan may be your first goal. Maybe I need to get my space right. I need to get my space right to be able to do all the other things. I'm not employable if my space that I'm going to be in for a lot of hours, lot more hours, I should say, that I can't concentrate to focus to have that phone interview, to apply for those jobs, to work with the career coach and so forth. So you really want to look at that and be realistic with your goals. My space is an important thing to me. You guys know I've talked about it many a times on the show. I just relocated back to the Washington, D.C. area 7 months ago. I'm still not unpacked, So it was nice. This was a long weekend for us here in the U.S., Memorial Day, and today being a holiday. And it was nice to finally have the time to say, all right, I know I have people want to see me or need me for whatever, but I am having a day for me. I'm going to take care of some housework, and I'm going to put together my patio table, and get my deck cleaned out, because one of the things that I like to do in the morning is to have my cup of coffee or my cup of tea on my deck, just sitting outside and relaxing and enjoying nature and the quiet. And just enjoying that time. And I have not been able to do that because I haven't had the time to put my furniture back together that the movers had broken down. So that was what I concentrated on today, and just really cleaning it up. And wow, I can't believe how much pollen's in the air, But taking the time and that opportunity, because that's a space, that's a sacred space for me. And that's important because I can't plan in my Boss Lady journal. I can't set out the goals. I can't do the SWOT analysis. I can't develop the action steps. I can't, assess where I am and what I've accomplished. I can't do all of that if my space is in chaos, because I'm going to be distracted. I'm going to be all over the place, mentally. Like I can't concentrate because I'm going to be paying attention to, oh, my God, this space needs to look like this. Oh, my God, I wish I could just sit outside. Oh, I just need to go away. I just need to run away. And none of that is good or positive for what I'm going to accomplish over the next couple of months while I'm on this short sabbatical. And so I pray and I hope that talking about that action planning and me being completely transparent, what are you guys going to do over the summer months without me just unloading here on Monday and Wednesday nights of all of the successes, the failures, the in-betweens. Let's grow together. I can't wait. You're going to follow me on social media, Facebook, Angel Riley. Come aboard. We're going to have a great time there. And we're going to talk about all these journeys. And we're definitely probably going to see the Chronicles going into some written formats as well. So you guys definitely stay abreast and in tune. But it is so many ideas when your space is right, when your thoughts are clear, and in the journal where you're able to track things. Because what I'm mostly looking forward to is in 3 months going through this journal, my goals journal, and reviewing everything that I set out to do and seeing how did I achieve them? Did I have any failures? Am I revisiting something and resetting a goal or restarting the goal because I didn't completely finish? I'm so excited about that. But I'm writing that plan, plain and clear. And I am planning because I am not going to fail because I don't have a plan and I'm not focused. So, guys, these are all things that we've talked about since the launch of this show in February of this year and all the way up to now. We've talked about all of these things. And while we're here in the power move, I want you to just really see how all of this comes full circle. Making that power move, being prepared, even if it came to you as a shocker. But we have all of the tools that we need, all of the resources that we need to live our best life. All we have to do is enact on them. Remember, we're making our vision plain and clear. That writing down in the Boss Lady Journal is the way that we're making that vision plain and clear. Looking at our finances, we did a whole month of shows in April, Financial Literacy Month, on getting our finances right. All of that is just wonderful. Being able to write that budget out and say, this is what it takes to live the lifestyle that I like to live. And this is what it takes to live the lifestyle I want to live. We talked about taking that strategic pause when we're feeling overwhelmed. We talked about how your space had to be right. You had to find things that really kept you calm. So I'm telling you guys about the cleanliness and how orderly my space is and how delicious this candle has the space smelling right now, and how relaxed and at ease and able to think clearly and be creative that I have because that space is right. We talked about our mission. We've talked about our vision. We talked about a SWOT analysis and how applicable a SWOT analysis is not only to our businesses but only to our life. I don't know what God has in store for myself or any of you that are listening and following me. I don't know what God has in store. But what I do know is that when we follow his order and we follow the plan that he lays out for us, it's nothing but blessings and abundancy. And abundancy may not be financial. Abundancy may be peace. Abundancy may be happiness. Abundancy may be fulfilling all of the goals and desires that you have. Right now, I'm walking in abundancy. It's beyond blessing. The peace that I feel, the excitement that I have, is because my steps have been ordered and I'm walking forward. So I can't wait to talk to you guys on Wednesday for our final show for the next couple of months. We're going to have a good time. It will be a celebration. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I pray that this was a good inspirational show to you all, and that we will continue to stay connected as we go to the next step and the next level and the next chapter of this journey. Have a great night.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember, you define your own success. Believe you can do it, build a solid foundation, know your circle, and soar. Until next time.